Hey folks, BlackCross here, and welcome to another vlog video. Well, vlog video, Cross Gaming news, and whatever else brings you. I just decided that, you know what, I haven't really been talking about a lot of news, and I felt like I needed to do a lot of videos, plus there's a lot of updates and stuff that I've been doing, and I'm like, you know what, let's just go ahead and put them all into one. So these are going to be I wouldn't say daily, but it depends on the situation, depends on what all I have planned, and it depends on what all I get to do. So, consider it the daily vlog, or weekly vlog, however way you want to say it, or phrase it, whatever way works. These are going to be within the BlackCross, I guess, discussion videos, but I guess we'll call them, Cross Gaming Vlogs, I guess. I don't know. I keep changing my mind from time to time, but the point is, this is the new setup, and I thought to myself, and I was like, honestly, I should experiment more with the OBS system. And I have to say, with what I've learned and what I've seen, I actually like it, what I do. I really do. And it's funny too, I'm about to actually test it to see if it actually lets me while I'm recording. But, I have a new weight screen, I suppose you can call it. Almost any Twitch streamer that I have been subscribed to, or followed to, or so on and so forth, they all have a weight screen, which basically lets people know, it's like, hey, I'm streaming, but I will be right there momentarily. We're getting things set up and stuff like that. Point is, I wanted to have something like that, so have a look-see and what you think. So, what'd you think of it? Needless to say, I was actually quite pleasantly happy with what I've done with it and everything like that. And keep in mind, the whole image thing only took me like maybe at most a minute or two. Meanwhile, getting it set up on OBS took me like maybe 5 minutes at most. One was to test it, and the other one to make certain it worked on stream, and it does, actually, it does. And this is the first time I've ever tried doing it while I was recording, so the limitations of the OBS is way underestimate by my according accounts, so I was very surprised. So I'm using OBS a lot more than I normally have been. I didn't think I'd be saying it, but yeah, it's a lot more useful than most editing devices. Well, I wouldn't say most editing devices, mostly because of the fact that I do have Adobe Premiere 11, and I probably do need to get an update, but you know the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. In other words, Adobe Premiere, the only problem I'm having right now is that it does finish a video or load a video fairly slow, but until I get to a point where it's like, I can't get things done in time, then I'll update. But until then, it's good on its own. And in my personal opinion, that's all you really need. But yeah, the OBS system I am starting to get used to, very much so, to a point where I'm like, you know what, maybe this should be a recurring thing. And it's like, well, let's see what other things I can do, and this is one of them. I can do daily or weekly vlogs, whatever comes up and everything like that, and I can do gaming news, whatever comes up. And speaking of gaming news, we have officially got our first update patch regarding Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. Now, with this particular update, there are two functionalities that they have done with Dissidia. The first one being is that you can now spectate a fight. Yeah, that was something that was never in the original. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. But yeah, now they have the ability to spectate a fight. In other words, when you're in a room or lobby, whatever you want to call them, and you have no other opponent that you could fight, you can spectate a fight and watch them fight each other. So it's like, oh, I didn't even think of that. So it's a nice little feature that they added in there, and it's like, okay, well, if that's a functionality, then I guess it works. But there's another functionality they have added, which is to copy EX skills. Now, these EX skills, if you don't know how the game works, in NT particular, you have EX skills, which are basically abilities that you can use in mid-combat by pressing the left analog stick in a particular direction, or leaving it idle and then press triangle, because there are 3 skills. You have the 2 optional skills, which can be anything, and then you have the main one, which is either the limit break, trance skill, whatever comes up when it comes to the Final Fantasy character and their respected game series. For example, Lightning would be Army of One, and Cloud would be Limit Break. But the point is, they now have it to where you can copy EX skills and then put them on other characters. So I was like, oh, okay, this is a new thing. I hadn't really tested it out myself, but mostly because I've been busy with other games and stuff. Like right now, I am trying to level grind in Final Fantasy II. I got this new character called Gareth. I believe is how you pronounce it, Gareth. Someone's going to quote me on that one, but I believe it's pronounced Gareth. And while everybody else was at over 2,000 HP, his was a meager 500. And I was like, well, this is no good. So you can naturally believe that I'm going to be level grinding him until he gets to be at least... If I can get him to be at least 1,800 before the next stream, I think I can live with that. But until then, it's going to be a long struggle, what it is. It's going to be a long struggle. I honestly thought to myself, I was like, why is this game giving me such weak-ass characters? And Gareth isn't really weak. He just has low HP. His attack is actually matched up with everybody else's, and I believe his defense is somewhat is. But because of the fact that, you know, he has 500 HP, it does leave to be in the realm of disconcerting. So you can imagine my frustration whenever I say the phrase that I'm going to be level grinding, because everybody else is right now at 3,000 HP, and as of right now, he is at almost 1,000 HP. So this is kind of... It's one of those frustrating moments where it's like you're grinding, and you're like, oh, come on, Gareth, what's wrong with you? But oh well. You know the thing, you have to grind in order to get progression, I suppose. But, in other news, Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, there's a couple of things I've been wanting to say about Kingdom Hearts 3 in general, so this one, I figured, why not just go ahead and combine them into one little video, because is basically a brief description followed by a brief news update. But I've been hearing rumors about it, and I thought to myself, I was like, until they say it themselves properly from their main channels, their main website and stuff like that, I don't believe otherwise. And then a friend of mine sent a link to me saying that the news was official, and I was like, damn it. But either way, I'm not really mad. I'm just kind of frustrated that the communication was misinterpreted. You know, it's one of those like, oh, Kingdom Hearts 3 release date will be revealed at E3, and then a day or two later it gets revealed that technically that was a mistranslation, and basically they said that there is no release date trailer reveal at E3, but there will be something along that line later on this year. And I have a couple theories about it, honestly, and if you look at it through my perspective, you can see it being a possibility, but then I'm going to add in a couple of other possibilities that people might point out. For starters, people are going to say that, well, Square Enix is doing trollish things, to which I can understand the reason for that being the case. I mean, Nomura even trolled that the last Kingdom Hearts trailer we gotten, which had the official release date, he said, along the lines, he said, the trailer that you will be seeing will be no different than any other trailer than before. And while that may be the case, it showed Toy Story being a new world and the release year. To which all of us said, bullshit, normal everyday news. This is big. Like, I think a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans will say that they were relieved to see a release year. Because at least this gives them a window of opportunity to know when it might come out. Now, we still don't know when exactly in 2018, but some of us believe it's going to be later this year, which we're okay with, and I'm okay with that, you know. I mean, hell, if I have to wait until literally December before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, that's perfectly fine, so long as I actually get to play it, you know. That's all I care about. I just want to play the game, because it looks so fun. The combat system is so interesting, and every little trailer that they've added to the roster of, like, Kingdom Hearts trailers, the more information we got. Like, for example, this newest one, we have gotten, like, not only a new world, but a new mechanic within Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, at first, a lot of us thought that it was summons that's being introduced within Kingdom Hearts 3. Apparently, according to Cynical and many others, they're not, the aerial one wasn't really a summon, but actually a D-Link from Kingdom Hearts Burst by Sleep. Now, how true that is, I don't honestly know. Like, I look at the trailer again over and over and over, and I look at it and I'm like, yeah, it does look like a D-Link. And you can actually see it within the trailer too. It shows the D-Link, or shows the link. And it's like, oh, okay, so yeah, maybe it is a thing, you know? I'm not denying that fact. I'm accepting the idea that, hey, it is a link, so maybe D-Links are coming back. And if they are, I wonder if they're literally D-Links, because judging by the way the combat looked, it looked like it was an actual summon. So, but then again, the way they act in Burst by Sleep, it is somewhat the same, except different abilities. You know, you build up the attack combo to do a special ability, and depending on how high up the D-Link is, like if you have 2 stars out of it, then you get the special ability along with special key components to help your character out. Like, my personal favorite would be Haste from Ven, and then Double Experience from Mickey. That's always a good thing to have. Trust me whenever I say this. Anytime you use Mickey and you have that double experience, that's going to help. It does. It's a godsend, let's put it that way. But that's one theory. The other theory that I have is that, you know, there's a possibility that they might have had, like, a problem with the engine. Now, here's the thing. Kingdom Hearts is actually the first time being put on the Unreal Engine 4. So, you can imagine that the complications of trying to get a new Kingdom Hearts game, but put it into a new system entirely, the complications can be radical. In other words, there are times whenever they're working in progression and stuff like that, and then they come into a problem. Sometimes, depending on the problem, it can be either just a simple fix, or it could be a point to where it can stop production entirely. Now, that's not to say that I believe that's what the case is. In fact, this is the least likely to be the case, but there is that looming possibility that maybe within the engine they had a problem, and they saw and they were like, maybe we better hold back information for the time being. But with this latest trailer, I doubt that's to be the case, simply because, you know, if it is an engine problem, then how the hell did they get it to look this good with no application problems? You know, it looks so good, with the exception of Sully's face, but you know what, that's just a minor detail that they can fix later on. But I have to say that out of everything that I've seen so far of the trailer, I definitely think that the engine problem is the last thing we have to worry about, because I mean, honestly, the way it looks, it can't be an engine problem. So it could be a troll thing, or they could be holding a special Kingdom Hearts 3 event before or after E3. You know, I mean, that's a very possibility, and I say this because they did the same thing with Final Fantasy 15. They could easily have not done a special event for Final Fantasy 15, but they also know that Kingdom Hearts 3 is the most hyped game that they've got this year. You know, if it was Final Fantasy VII Remake coming out this year, which I honestly don't see that happening anytime soon, if for some reason they knew that Final Fantasy VII Remake was going to be out this year, they wouldn't do anything. But I say they are at least... I say this because they know they have fans waiting on the remake. They know that they have people waiting on it, and it's like they're trying to do their best to make it the best that it could be. They're trying to make it better than 7. I personally myself don't see that being possible, but if they could at least reimagine the experience of 7, then I think most of us will be okay with whatever they bring out, because trust me whenever I say this, the gameplay of 7 versus what the remake is going to bring, there are so many more questions that still need to be answered, like how is the materia system going to work? Is there anything different within the combat other than just the fact that you can change out between Cloud and Barret and other characters? And what about key characters like Aerith, you know? It's like, technically she ends up dead before Disc 1 ends, or right at the end of Disc 1, should I say. So it's like, how's that going to affect the gameplay, you know? And I think Square Enix is taking every consideration of that possibility. No one really knows, but the point is, the fact that Final Fantasy VII Remake has not been talked about since last year, which if it has, it's only been like a brief discussion. And brief discussion, I mean cutscene image. That's it. That's all we've gotten. We haven't gotten like any news information or any major news for that matter. Like, is it still going to be episodic? Is it still going to be this multi-disc experience type thing that they keep preaching about? Personally, I don't see it being the case, but if Square Enix is still within the ideal frame of like, hey, this is how we're going to do Final Fantasy VII Remake, then I guess we have no choice but to accept the bylaws and just see what they can put out. You know, worst case scenario, it fails, and we all get to resume playing Final Fantasy VII like as though as if the remake never happened. Which some of us are good at. But the point is, because of that, I believe they're holding Kingdom Hearts 3 for a special viewing. You know, they're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. They'll more than likely be talking about all of the potential worlds that are in Kingdom Hearts 3, as well as possible summon indications, as well as D-Links, forms, Keyblade information, the release date, which is the biggest thing, the release date, followed by a collector's set. I guarantee they have a big collector's edition coming up. Like, seriously, if they don't have a big enough collector's edition for Kingdom Hearts 3, I am going to be very disappointed in Square Enix. This is the opportunity that they can do the utmost best when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. But if they don't do a good enough collector's edition for Kingdom Hearts 3, then I'm going to be sorely disappointed, because the least I am hoping for a collector's edition is at least a Kingdom Hearts theme chest. You know, I would actually like to see that. And I know a lot of people will be like, hey, that's actually a cool idea, but will Square Enix do it? Let's put it this way. If it wasn't for the fact they already had Kingdom Hearts 3 PlayArts Kai Sora out, that one would have been part of the collector's edition, but since the majority of people have already gotten him, chances are they probably decided, okay, well, that's not an indication, what else can we do? And someone was like, well, could we make a treasure chest that comes straight out of Kingdom Hearts? And I was like, I like it. I like the idea. And they can do a lot of stuff with it. I mean, with all the collectibles that they could easily add within Kingdom Hearts, it's no surprise as to, like, what we could see come out of Kingdom Hearts 3 Collector's Edition. But that's the ideal that I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they're holding off on Kingdom Hearts 3 official release date until they get a special event out. When this will be, I have no clue myself. But, depending on when they reveal this, could depend on when it might come out. Now, I'm not going to make any major prediction, but take a think of, like, the possibilities. If Kingdom Hearts 3 special event was to come out before June, like, let's say April. Let's say April's the day that they reveal Kingdom Hearts 3 release date. Or do this Kingdom Hearts 3 official special event. it could be within the opening realms of August, September, or October. If it gets revealed in July, which is a month after E3, there's a good indication that it could be released in December. But that all depends on when they get it released, or when they do this whole live event thing. Or maybe Square Enix is trolling the audience and they're going to reveal the trailer at E3. Who knows? All I know is that it's still set for 2018, and until Square Enix says that it is going to be pushed back 2019, which they have not said, do not rephrase what I say. They have not said 2019. It has still been set at 2018, and not once has it been delayed. So please keep this in mind. Kingdom Hearts 3 has not been delayed, because for it to be delayed, it had to have had an original release date beforehand. This is the first time we've gotten a release of some kind. It's 2018. When precisely, we still don't know. But do not assume that it's been delayed, because it has not been delayed. And please, for the love of God, shut your flippin' mouths. You know Nomura, he'll easily do something like that, in which case, I'm going to murder someone. Anyway, that got a little dark right there, so let's go into another happier subject, which is me recently getting Secret of Mana. If you remember, I talked about how GameStop had the ability to where they could sell the physical copy for those who pre-order Secret of Mana. And I was like, okay, but why doesn't Square Enix have the ability to where you can pre-order the physical copy anyway, you know? It's like, well, this is Square Enix game. And since no one else is getting the physical copy, you would think, oh, Square Enix will probably do a special thing to where you can purchase a physical copy from them. That's not the case. Instead, Square Enix decided, hey, GameStop, do you want to sell a physical copy of Secret of Mana? And they were like, hell yeah, and they took it. Either that or GameStop paid a certain amount and be like, we'll sell the physical copy for you. If you'll let us sell the physical copy, then that should be it. In which case, Square Enix was like, fine, do what you want. But personally, I'm kind of glad, because anytime I hear that a game has a physical release, I aim to get the physical release before I even get the digital copy. That's just me saying that, you know. I know a lot of people will be like, well, that's just wasted space. Yeah, but I like to look at my game collection. I like the feeling of, like, opening up a case and putting the game in the disk drive, you know. And I know a lot of people have some mixed opinions about that, but honestly, I still prefer my physical media. I really do. You can't replace physical media. You can't. You know, I know people are going to be like, well, digital age. I don't care. Physical media is where it's at. One of these days, the digital media will come out, and once a game comes out and it does badly, they'll take it off the shelf. They'll take it out. They'll delete it. They'll never remember it. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to eliminate bad games. When in reality, there may be some good games out there that people are like, well, this was actually okay. It wasn't absolute shit. It was okay. But the companies don't care. They'll just look at it and be like, hey, this is absolute shit. But I am willing to admit that there are some companies out there that wouldn't actually do that. As much as I hate to be the one to admit this, there are some companies out there that wouldn't go that low. But there are some companies out there that would. Like, for example, Konami, which I'm surprised they're still releasing Metal Gear Survive, which according to some people they said is actually doing pretty good. It's pretty good looking. And I'm like, how can you do a Metal Gear Solid game and do it like this all of a sudden? This is utter shit. I'm sorry. I say when the game actually does get released, it's going to get dramatically bad reviews. I expect it to be the case. Unless it's already out, in which case, when did that happen, you know? But then again, I wasn't really interested in this game. I kind of lost interest in it and everything like that. Honestly, my attention towards Metal Gear Rising right now, like, all of a sudden I got back to the idea of wanting to play Metal Gear Rising. But the point that I'm trying to say is that Secret of Mana, I'm going to say this right now, in case anyone hadn't heard me talk about it before. Secret of Mana, in the comments, I want you to say yes to Secret of Mana if you want me to do a live stream event of Secret of Mana. or if you just want to see it on YouTube in any particular way. And it's like, hey, this is technically the first time I'm going to be playing through Secret of Mana, so it's like, you know what, I might as well do either a live stream of it and everything like that. So let me know if you want me to do Secret of Mana for Twitch, or just simply play through Secret of Mana, you know, just let me know. But that's going to be it for this video. That's going to be it for this Cross Gaming vlog, I guess. I don't know. I still am trying to work on the title itself. I say by the time this gets released, which technically, as of right now, I am recording it on the 16th. I'm going to be releasing it on the 18th. So I say within that time frame, I'll come up with the title of this series, to which, if you want to, you're more than welcome to watch it. I hope you'll give me some feedback to let me know what you think of everything. And let me know if you prefer this style. Let me know, because personally I find it to be a little bit easier than trying to get things set up to do a cross gaming news, especially whenever it's like, you know, there's some stuff that I'm wanting to do personally myself, and then there's some gaming news that I find interesting that I wanted to talk about. But they're not going to be like a whole like hour-long vlog section thing. It depends on how many things I can put into this video and how many things I felt like talking about. So, but at any rate though, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. This is BlackCross signing off. Take care, guys.